Your wellness matters. Learn, live, and thrive. Check out mjwellness.com today.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Kevin McAleese with the Week in Review. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said Turkey crossed the line by shooting down a Russian jet earlier this week, an incident which resulted in the death of a Russian pilot and Marine. His comments came as he welcomed his Syrian counterpart for a meeting in Moscow. Our reporter Nick Harper is in the Russian capital.
Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov expressed his displeasure at Turkey's actions, saying they had crossed a line of permissibility and were at risk of leading Turkey into the most severe situation. Lavrov said Turkey was hurting its long-term national interests. Meeting with Lavrov, Syria's Foreign Minister Walid Muallem said it was an unprecedented, provocative act of aggression by Turkey. Meanwhile, Turkish President Recep Erdogan has said that Russia should not play with fire. He's invited Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet him next week on the sidelines of the Paris Climate Change Summit, but says he's not yet received an answer. Nick Harper, Moscow.
Germany will expand its role militarily fighting ISIS in a response to France's request for assistance. The German defence minister announced the news a day after a meeting between the two leaders of the two countries. Our correspondent Iris Spitzer reports from Berlin.
German Tornado jets will fly reconnaissance missions in Syria, and a frigate will be deployed to protect a French aircraft carrier in the eastern Mediterranean that serves as a base for airstrikes in Syria and Iraq. French President François Hollande called for assistance from other EU countries in the wake of the Paris terror attacks which killed at least 130 people. Germany will also deploy additional troops to the UN peacekeeping mission in Mali to help free up French resources there. However, German officials have already said that the country will not directly participate in the airstrikes in Iraq and Syria. Ira Spitzer, Berlin.
Officials in Chicago have announced first-degree murder charges this week against an officer who shot dead an African-American teenage boy last year. This comes amidst a national debate over the high rate of ethnic minorities who are killed by US police. Our US correspondent Mary McCarthy has more.
The charges against Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke come as officials prepare to release dashcam video of the shooting. The video has been described as graphic and disturbing and is expected to spark protests. The officer, who is white, is a 14-year veteran of the Chicago police force. He says he shot 17-year-old Laquan McDonald 16 times because he feared for his life. Meanwhile, tension is also high in Minneapolis, where 5 people were shot and wounded overnight at a protest over the fatal police shooting of an unarmed African-American man.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From bureaus around the world, this is FSN Spotlight.
The British Prime Minister says the UK cannot wait for a political settlement in Syria before taking military action against Islamic State in the country. David Cameron has been outlining the government's plans ahead of a potential vote on expanding Britain's airstrikes into Syria to join its allies.
We do face a fundamental threat to our security. We can't wait for a political transition. We have to hit these terrorists in their heartlands right now. And we must not shirk our responsibility for security or hand it to others.
David Cameron was clear to address concerns of legality, saying Britain would be acting in self-defence. He also said Kurdish troops in the Free Syrian Army could assist the UK on the ground. Inderjeet Palmer is a professor of international politics at City University.
That's probably the most realistic short-term option available. So I think arming local forces, directing them more, providing logistical information, intelligence and air cover and so on, I think that's likely to be the best. But the problem with that is whom to trust.
Any expansion of Britain's airstrikes into Syria would require a vote in Parliament. It's thought a vote on this could take place next week. But even the Prime Minister admits himself that airstrikes alone will not be enough to defeat Islamic State. With FSN Spotlight in London, I'm Dan Whitehead.
And finally, President Obama addressed the nation this week to say the US government knows of no concrete intelligence pointing to an imminent terror attack on American soil. He spoke ahead of the annual Thanksgiving holiday, the busiest travel day of the year in the United States. After meeting members of his national security team, President Obama said it was understandable Americans were fearful, but the latest information doesn't indicate an attack is in the pipeline. And that's the Week in Review. Kevin McAleese reporting.
Earn your PhD in THC monetization with CannabisRadio.com. Don't be late.
From the Sky News Centre at 4, 3 people have died in a shootout at a family planning clinic in the US state of Colorado.
We have 2 civilian casualties on scene, and we have the death of 1 police officer. The death of the officer on scene is from the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs Police Department.
Lieutenant Catherine Buckley updated reporters after the siege in Colorado Springs, which lasted around 5 hours. 9 people, including 5 officers, were also injured. The suspected gunman is now in police custody. It's not yet known what the motive was. A man and woman have died after a fire at a terraced house on Merseyside last night. Police officers who were attending another incident on the street in Seacombe on the Wirral tried to force their way in to save them, but couldn't because of the intense heat and smoke. Fire crews managed to stop the flames spreading to neighbouring buildings. Jeremy Corbyn has emailed Labour Party members to ask whether they think Parliament should vote to authorise airstrikes against Islamic State in Syria. Divisions in Mr Corbyn's party have been highlighted by his decision not to back a UK bombing campaign there, but some Labour MPs, including Emily Thornberry, are standing by their leader.
Does the Prime Minister have a real plan in relation to this? I went along to the Chamber of the House of Commons yesterday hoping that I would hear a proper strategy, and I was really disappointed.
Talks will resume later to try to stop industrial action by junior doctors in England in a row over pay and contracts. 98% of those balloted by the British Medical Association backed walking out for 2 days in December and only carrying out emergency care on Tuesday. In sports, England's cricketers secured a narrow win in their second 2020 international with Pakistan last night, sealing a series victory. They won by 3 runs in Dubai. And Adele's new album is officially the fastest selling in UK history. 25 has shifted more than 800,000 copies in its first week. That surpasses the 18-year record held by Oasis with Be Here Now. That's the latest. I'm Anna Jones.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every day. Medical marijuana is my last resort, and it helps me when all other drugs have failed. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
MJWellness.com, the largest medical marijuana community in the world. Connect with thousands of patients, doctors, industry leaders, and businesses through shared personal experiences along our worldwide network. Discover new therapies and benefits with content tailored to you. Come grow your network on MJWellness.com. You're not alone. Your wellness matters. Learn, live, and thrive. Check out MJWellness.com today.
How high do you like your profit margin? CannabisRadio.com.
This is the USA Radio Business Report. I'm Russ Jones. Shopping season is kicking off and stores are gearing up for record traffic. Best Buy spokesperson Sandra Tollefson says Americans are particularly out to get technology gifts this season.
We know through our own research that 2/3 of Americans plan to give tech as a gift this year. And we've surveyed them, and we know that they're really excited about the 4K TVs, tablets, headphones, wireless speakers, fitness trackers, and smartwatches.
Tollefson advises Black Friday shoppers to plan their shopping route ahead of time. Big doorbuster products typically come in limited quantities, so it's important to read fine print in advertisements.
A little planning does go a long way, so my first piece of advice is plan your route ahead of time. Check out those doorbuster ads from the comfort of your home and figure out which stores you want to hit up in what order.
This is the USA Radio Business Report. For more, we're on the web at westernjournalism.com. I'm Russ Jones.
USA Radio News, I'm Jason Wirt. The death toll is 3 after a shootout between a gunman and police officers at a Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood. Police officials confirmed that 1 officer was killed and 2 civilians. Colorado Springs Police Lieutenant Catherine Buckley said 9 people were injured.
We had 4 civilians transported to local hospitals with gunshot wounds. We had 5 officers transported to local hospitals with gunshot wounds. The 9 individuals that were transported are in good condition at this time.
A man is being charged with murder in Chicago in connection with the gang shooting death of 9-year-old Tyshawn Lee earlier this month. Police say Corey Morgan was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Police believe Tyshawn was targeted for death as part of a gang feud that may have involved the father of the boy. USA Radio News, I'm Jason Wirt.
Turn down that radio!
If you finally decided to address your hearing loss, the MD Hearing Aid Air is a medical-grade hearing aid that costs up to 90% less than traditional hearing aids. Designed by a Chicago doctor, the MD Hearing Aid Air has a sleek, nearly invisible profile. This digital hearing aid incorporates technology and features found in hearing aids costing thousands of dollars. The Air offers advanced noise reduction, making speech clearer and virtually eliminating annoying background noise. 3 environmental settings put you in control. You select the best setting for your location. Call 1-800-485-4408. Over 100,000 satisfied customers have already made the call. Call right now for our exclusive 45-day risk-free trial and get free shipping and a year's worth of free batteries, a $50 value. Call MD Hearing Aid at 1-800-485-4408. Satisfaction guaranteed. That's 1-800-485-4408.
One Democratic congressman is speaking out about President Obama's plan to just bomb ISIS in Iraq without any boots on the ground and without civilian casualties. Representative Brad Sherman says President Obama's current plan of no civilian casualties would have resulted in the U.S. losing World War II.
The air campaign we've had so far against ISIS has been a, quote, zero civilian casualty approach. That would have totally failed us in World War II. We have not bombed the oil fields. We have not bombed the tanker convoys that provide ISIS with its money.
Sherman told MSNBC if civilians are helping ISIS in any way, they should be considered viable targets. Analysts are saying bargain hunters were out in force on Thanksgiving evening to take advantage of discounts. Many shoppers also snapped up their deals online, spending more than $820 million since midnight. The National Retail Federation says they're expecting a 3.7% rise in holiday sales this year. USA Radio News, I'm Jason Wirt.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-479-2697. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-479-2697.
It's a very simple moral to the story. Don't lie to your boss. Partying is reportedly not the only reason that Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel has lost his starting job with the team. According to multiple outlets, Manziel was demoted because he lied to the coaching staff about the incident. Manziel didn't tell head coach Mike Pettine the truth about when he was videotaped, and Fox Sports reported Manziel told his friends to cover it up. Josh McCown will be starting for Cleveland when they host the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Word out of Cleveland is Manziel may not be with the Browns after this season. An arsonist is on the loose in New York City. Here's Terry Sheridan.
Cops have released video images of the suspect that were captured at the latest fire on Wednesday night. There have been 7 fires in the last few weeks, all of them at vacant buildings under construction, and police think the suspect is responsible for at least 4 of them. All 7 fires are considered suspicious. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 800-577-TIPS. Terry Sheridan, New York.
A Connecticut man accused of jumping a White House fence will be undergoing psychiatric testing following a court appearance today. Court documents show that Joseph Caputo of Stanford left 2 letters with people with whom he had been staying in Virginia, indicating he planned to die in yesterday's incident. Caputo is facing federal criminal charges after Secret Service agents say he scaled the White House north fence while President Obama and the First Family were celebrating Thanksgiving. More news at westernjournalism.com. For USA Radio News, I'm Jason Wirt.
Your connection to quality cannabis insurance services is spelled K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R. That's Karcher Insurance. We have worked with ventures like cannabis for over 60 years. We're proud to represent over 50 companies with tailor-made cannabis plans for owners just like you to insure your product, your plants, and your pursuits. K-A-E-R-C-H-E-R spells out their full-service insurance services ranging